Hello everyone, huge show of Tragics coming your way. We've got premiership celebrations to work through, all the premierships that were decided on the weekend. We'll do a grand final preview of William Buck Premier down to Premier C, and we'll also try and pick a winner in the Woodrow Medal. Stick around for VAFA Tragics coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome to our grand final edition, our final show of the season on VAFA Tragics. We've got the panel assembled, ready to go. Some of them have even decided to wear a suit, which is great to see. Brent and Matt, I might introduce you first. Welcome. Why are we in the suit tonight?
Just getting ready for Woodrow Medal night, Andrew. You can't be too premature with your preparation in football. And I'm off to the JJ Liston Medal tonight to crown.
Just stick with the Woodrow Medal.
Okay.
We don't care where you're going. Nick Armistead, great to see you.
Great to be here, and I heard it's just because I'm out dressing you every night.
Well, you are. You outdress me every week, so I just got to come in for the last show, really looking sharp.
Let's get things underway. We've got the Nutrients Direct Performance Play of the Week, or in this instance, we're going to go Play of the Year for the Nutrients Direct. Nick, why don't you kick us off?
Absolutely. Julius Warris Carstensen, a lot of you would have seen that he won the Hutchison Medal in Division 3 last week. With 29 votes, he backed it up on the weekend with a good performance in the grand final, premiership though, and he gave us ripping speech at the end of the game. Just a great guy, and he gets my Performance of the Year.
Excellent. Brent, who do you like? Your Nutrients Direct Performance of the Year or week? What are we going with?
Gone with the year. Damon Marcon from Preston, kick 3, best on ground He's second best on ground in 3 premierships. It's a fair effort, and he was electric on the weekend.
I'm going to go to Roger Hand, the coach of Westbourne Grammarians. Congratulations, premiers and a champion team, and they didn't do it all easily on the weekend against Point Cook. So well done to Westbourne after a tumultuous couple of years, a few seasons ago. Great to see you bounce back and pinch a flag in Division 4, and good luck in Division 3 next year. Right, on to William Buck Premier section. We're going to get through all of the sections, so stick around with us as we go through them all. But William Buck Premier section, to start things off. The preliminary final on Sunday, played at Sports Cover Arena. It was Old Zaverians getting over Uni Blues, but it was great to see University Blues after they were headed late in the... Well, they got headed early, the way the game went. Zavs kicked the first 4 goals of the game before Blues even managed to score in the first quarter. They went scoreless up to quarter time. So a 5-goal advantage to Zavs. They fought back. They eventually took the lead in the third quarter on a couple of occasions with goals. Tom Quinn was on fire up forward. He was a star for Blues. And they really showed something. They just couldn't quite prevent Zavs from kicking away late in the third, though. Tyson Thomas was outstanding. Dan Noonan was excellent in the back defensive half. Caden Beetham played one of his best games for a long time. And this man, Brendan Goss, he did a pretty good job, kicked another 6 goals, but managed to kick a few behinds as well. 6 goals, 8 for the day for Gossy. Here's a few of his misses there. So he could have had a bag of 10, Gossy.
He'd be filthy about that.
He would be filthy. But it was a great performance from the Zavs. Blues did come back in the last, after trailing by about 5 goals at three-quarter time, got to within 9 points, but couldn't go on with it. Caden Beetham wobbled one through, and that sort of prevented the momentum building, and they just couldn't get close enough to eventually prevail over Zavs.
Being able to scoreless in the first quarter doesn't help, and they'll be ruining that poor start to the game. As you said, fantastic effort to fight back, but I think Zavs just had too much firepower up forward.
I think 6 goals in the second quarter would be one of their best quarters this year too. And the Elsternwick Breeze wasn't that strong. It just so happened that the scoring was all at the scoreboard end.
It was a strange one. Most of the goals, I think till very late in the game at least, were all kicked at the scoreboard end of the ground. So it was a strange one, but Zavs into another grand final. And I reckon as well, I know they don't have to, but the red jumper looks bloody fantastic. I'm really a big fan of the red jumper, and I think red is powerful. If you look through the history of sporting clubs, and Ferraris are red because they go faster, and Manchester United wear red because it's more powerful. Red jumpers are the way forward.
Preston Ballone's winning on the weekend.
Preston Ballone's on the weekend. Absolutely. Wear a red jumper.
They've been pushing this barrow for a couple of years with the red jumpers.
Big fan.
It just stands out.
Let's take a look at the grand final. Congratulations on a great season for Blues, though. Just falling over at the final hurdle again.
And congratulations to Quinton Gleeson, who announced he won't be going on next year. Fantastic.
Yeah, 3 fantastic years, delivered a Premier B premiership and some moderate success getting into finals in William Buck Premier in the past couple of years. On to the grand final preview, though. Old Trinity sat back, watched this game. Did they see anything that would concern them about old Zavs?
I don't think nothing that they wouldn't have known already. We know that Zavs can score powerfully over an extended period, and we know that Zavs finish strongly. They are never out of the game. Their fourth quarters are probably the best in the competition. So I don't think they would have been too surprised.
the way the games have gone this year, both sides have won away from their home ground. So that doesn't really mean anything. It probably shows that they're pretty evenly matched sides. So both close games, both under 3 goals.
It's going to come down to the midfield. Yetzi versus Thomas. Simiopoulos is on fire. Anthony Scott out on a wing for Old Trinity. Now, if Trinity can get the ball on the outside, and Yetzi can have a game like he had in the second semi, they're going to be hard to stop. But Zavs, as you said, they're never very out of it. And Brendan Goss's second halves this year have been absolutely outstanding. And he might be able to drag Zavs over the line.
Goss has been outstanding in the last couple of weeks. He's had 14 shots at goal just on the weekend, and he's had probably about 10 the week before as well. He's obviously a problem, and who stops him is going to be a question that Old Trinity will have to look at. But I reckon you do stop him, and Zad's other avenues to goal. I know Hanley's was right up there in the goal kicking this year, but he hasn't been amongst the goals as much in recent weeks. I reckon to stop Goss, and it's almost it.
It's going to come down to the midfield goals maybe for Zavs. Guys like Simiopoulos and Beetham pushing forward, and Tyson Thomas as well kicking goals. As you said, the avenues up forward aren't as renowned as obviously Goss and Hanley. But, in finals, the unlikely source sometimes bobs up.
And that might be what Ted Woodruff and Paddy Hawkins are going to play into them. They may be working on alternative plans this week at Toorak Park.
Well, I think Trinity have the one player who actually can stop Brendan Goss, and I think he's shown that twice this year already. Luke Bocconi, I think he's the best small defender in the competition, and he's really physical, and I think that, it doesn't get into Goss's head, he's a superstar, it doesn't get in his head, but it's a different way of playing Brendan Goss.
So we've got to get a tip from you both. We'll go for a Jock Nelson medalist and a margin, and obviously the winner. Icon Park is the details, on Sunday from about 2:30, I think the bounce of the ball is at, maybe 2:15 it might be. The bounce of the ball, depending the celebrations from the reserves grand final and the thirds grand final before it. So 3 games of footy, all at Icon Park, Princes Park on Sunday. Who do we like?
You go. Okay, I'll go. I like Anthony Scott for the Jock Nelson medal. I think Trinity can gain redemption from last year, but I've only got him by 15 points.
I've got Trinity by 2 goals, and I think Ed Weatherson, I think he will get 5 or 6 goals, and I think that'll be the difference.
5 or 6 goals?
He's been in good form, Ed Weatherson.
I'm going to go with Andrew Kyrgiakopoulos. Trinity to win their first William Buck Premiership, a 17-point win for the Green Machine. Kyrgiakopoulos for the Jock Nelson medal, and a Smokey for the Jock Nelson, if we're allowed to throw a Smokey in. Jack Hunt, I reckon, could feature. He kicked a couple of ripping goals at Icon Park in the grand final last year when Trinity were runners up. But
some serious X factor too.
Looking forward to it. The game will be simulcast on 96.5 Inner FM and 98.9 Northwest FM. So hope you enjoy the coverage. We look forward to the William Buck Premier Grand Final on Sunday. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more Tragics right after this.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics. No headlines tonight, but we will reflect on the winners of the senior section Best and Fairest winners. Brenton, you've got the division medalists. Take us through from Division 4 up to Division 1.
The main medalist was Brent Christie from Ely Park Sharks, who was finished on 17 votes and was absolutely fantastic for the boys down there in Box Hill. The Hutchison medalist was already mentioned tonight. Julius Warris Carstensen from Glen Ira finished on 29 votes. It was an outstanding year. The Fullerton medalist was Glenn Costas in Div 2. Unfortunately, St John's couldn't get over the line on the weekend. He finished on 26 votes, was a picture of consistency throughout the year. And the Alice Pepper medalist in Div 1 was Daniel Maitland, who as well, the Old Man Tonys couldn't get over the line either on the weekend. He finished on 24 votes, an outstanding season.
In Premier C?
Yeah, Premier C, Liam Kinsella had a fantastic year, the big buff of blonde hair from Kew. He got 21 votes. He had it wrapped up by round 17, but it was most comfortable 1 vote win, you're going to see. And in Premier B, Charlie Dillon from Parkdale Vultures had a fantastic year, and he won it on 16 votes. There was a couple of boys behind him. Actually, Harry Hill from Old Brighton is a Rising Star nominee, and the 2 Fitzroy, Daniel Bassetto and Rory Angio-Lalla, who probably played half a year, also polled really well. So congratulations to those 2 players.
Yeah, great results. The Zachariah and more medals there in Premier C and Premier B. On to Premier B. Let's take a look at a review of the preliminary final first of all. Beaumaris beating Old Scotch on the weekend on Saturday, inspired by Stephen Milne to an extent, but I'll tell you what, there's a couple of other impressive players in the Beaumaris side as they ran out 34-point winners. Petering was outstanding. Edmonds kicked a couple of beautiful running goals for the Sharks, and whilst Old Scotch found form. They kicked the first 4 goals of the game, 5 of the first 6 goals of the game. It was the Sharks from after that point that really put the pressure on. I think Scotch brought the physical pressure early. They were hard. They were winning the contested ball. They were breaking free from the centre. But after quarter time, the ledger was evened out somewhat. I've never seen so many concussions in a game. There was lots of physicality. Lots of players were knocked, including Robbie Cathcart was knocked out for a bit, or knocked down. I don't know if he's not ever knocked out, but they were slow to get up from contests. The tackling was really strong. Daniel Gribben was a star, I reckon, for Beau Morris. I've seen him before in William Buck Premier kick bags of goals. I reckon he was probably the most impressive player on the ground. I can't remember who we ended up giving best on the ground to. Stevie Milne, every time he went near it, was an excitement and caused problems for Old Scotch. The Cardinals spent another year in Premier B after being relegated last year. These sides were relegated, of course, last season. So it's Bowie that bounced back, and they get a shot at St Bede's Mentone next week.
The local rivalry, and as you said, the physicality and the intensity of the game. That's what finals football is all about. And Bowie just out to be able to outgrind Old Scotch. And unfortunately for the Scotchies, they're not going to be too happy about spending another year in Prem B, are they?
Oh, they won't. But I mean, they're still building something. It's just whether Mark Passador gets another gig. I know that his job is supposedly on the line in terms of this. I'm not sure if it necessarily means that he gets the job. Now, I think he's keen to go again next year, but I know Old Scotch certainly they advertised for the position. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. Over the pre-season. Maxi Vanderbroek, who we've spoken about in recent weeks on the show, was sensational for Old Scotch all day. And the problem was he was their key avenue to goal up forward, him and Matty Seed, but he also had to spend time in the ruck. And probably they needed... the Bowie big men had more of an influence than the Scotch big men, barring Maxi Vanderbroek.
What's the 1-2 punch look like going into next week? Stephen Milne, Daniel Gribben up forward.
Yeah, I reckon, and Schneider's just class as well. He probably didn't get a lot of the ball, but I think when you bring a player into your side like that who's played at the highest level before, when he kicked a couple of beautiful goals, his passing was good. He probably didn't get enough of it, but that's not to worry.
He's going to take a very good defender too.
Exactly right. It'll be a classic game next week. St Bede's Mentone Tigers have been sensational. They've bided their time in Premier B. This is their second season in Premier B after being relegated. They've had the week off. Who do we think's going to win?
I think St Bede's Mentone Tigers, with the week off, will be able to get over Bowie, and Ushmilan Yathai Kumar will provide that X factor for St Bede's, and they're going to jump up. Oh, not jump up. They've already jumped up to William Buck Premier, but yeah, they're going to hold the cup aloft.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it could go either way. I think Beau Morris, been with them since the start of the year. The Ian Quarter medalist for me. You said he got a pretty big hit on the weekend, but Robbie Cathcart is an absolute driving force there, and I think he's got it.
And of course at Trevor Barker Oval on Saturday.
It is at Trevor Barker Oval, the game on Saturday in Premier B. If you haven't caught the news yet, the game for Premier B will be at Trevor Barker Oval. I'm going to go with the Tigers, I think, to win by 15 points. Another relatively close game. Ian Quarter medal. I'm going with Joshy Cowan, who of course his team Mazenod's playing off for a flag also on the same day, so his former team. He left Mazenod in the pre-season, but Joshy Cowan polled well in the Moore medal as well.
He did, not as well as he thought he was going to, apparently.
One of the great stitch-ups you're ever going to see from his mate taking a screenshot of the text messages from Josh coming through. But I did enjoy that banter in the VAFA medal counts during the week. But yeah, Josh Cowan to win the best on ground. Jared Robinson's going to play a big role as well for St Bede's Mentone Tigers.
I'll go with Ushmilan Yathai Kumar for St Bede's to get the Ian Quarter medal.
You went for Beau Morris?
Yep, Beau Morris, Rob Cathcart.
That's our wrap on Premier B. Time now to take a look at Premier C, and the preliminary final on the weekend sees Caulfield Grammarians, Nick, spending another year in Premier C, whilst Peninsula will play off for the 8th time for their chance to win their first senior premiership.
Will, it's fantastic news for the Pirates. They were the underdogs leading into the team, but it was accurate kicking that was the story of the day. The story of their season has been the fact that they haven't been accurate. They consistently kick 16-16, 21-21. And it is the story of their season, but they absolutely dominated, leading by 5 points at the first break. The Pirates gradually increased as the game went on, with Will Crowder starring in front of goal on his way to a bag of 5. Adam Smurtle left nothing in the tank in a dominant best-on-ground performance, while George Fletcher, Stephen Barber, who's been a superstar in front of goal this season, Alexander Marshall and Will Harbinson, another person who polled really well last week, bothered the scorers with 2 each. Thomas Small was absolutely inspirational for the Fields. He fought hard for the Fields all day, but they now leave the finals race on the back of 2 consecutive losses after winning the minor premiership.
Yes, and wasn't one I saw coming. We got a little bit of feedback from the boys from Peninsula, which we always welcome feedback here on the VAFA Tragics. A bit of feedback via Twitter, and it was fantastic for the Pirates to get up. And
None of us tipped them.
No, none of us.
Well, that's fine.
But you got to put your neck on the
Yeah,
line.
exactly right. I'm on the Pirates this weekend. They upset Mazenot. Hi, Mazenot.
It's gonna be tough for Mazenot because you're going. They're gonna have the weight of expectation on their shoulders, whereas the Pirates obviously weren't expected. We didn't expect them to win on the weekend. They're gonna go with that all or nothing kind of mentality where they could be very, very dangerous for Mazenot.
Mazenot have them 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. That's it.
2 wins.
Yeah, that's also expectation. There's gonna be
A number of players. Well, Mazenot lost a grand final that they should have won a couple of years ago in Premier C when old Ivanhoe trumped them by 8 points after they came from fourth that year. It's a similar sort of situation for Peninsula, actually. They've had the hot finals form. Yeah, not worrying signs, that's the wrong word. But so Ritterman Medal, who's going to win the grand final of Premier C to be played on Saturday at Sports Cover Arena. I think the game's going to be broadcast on 96.5. So if you're a fan of Peninsula and you can't make the trip up from Mount Eliza, then you can certainly catch the broadcast of the game. Saturday afternoon, Sports Cover Arena.
James Fletcher from Peninsula will win the medal, I think. Yeah, and then I'm going to go with the Pirates by 8 points.
Looking after another Richmond boy.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
it,
to see
that's
that. Brother of Liam Welsford, he polled really well alongside his brother Stephen last week, and I think he'll get best on because I think Mazenod will do it, and I think Mazenod by about 20 points.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I think Mazenot are probably going to win the grand final. I'd love to see the Pirates win. In fact, Brad Kovac's going to win the Ritterman Medal, in my opinion, in that Premier C grand final. Right, that's it for Premier C. Good luck in the Premiership decider, and we'll have a full preview of all those. If you're coming to the VAFA grand final lunch, we should mention that's on Friday as well. Hope to see you there at the Sofitel in the city Friday afternoon, where we'll do a full preview of all those games. Of course, Mike Fitzpatrick's the special guest, and Barry Cassidy hosting, and Vince Sorrenti
to provide the comedic relief.
Exactly right, which we might need some of. Division 1, on to Division 1. Taking a look, Premiers Old Geelong. It was a great result for the Yogs. First flag since 2005.
And it was one of the best grand finals in living memory. No, not living memory, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was Div 1, it lived up to the hype. It was, as you said, Old Geelong, 8 points over Old Mentonians, led by a 3-goal haul from young gun Jock Grimshaw and 2 each from best on ground medalist recipient Callum Wood, who is a star, Callum Wood, down in Old Geelong. And George Burberry popped up with 2 goals as well. At the first break, they overrun their opponents. 6 goals to 2 in the second gave them a 14-point buffer at half-time, and the margin stayed at arm's length for the remainder of the match. Dustin Mills was sensational for the Panthers with 3 goals, while Douglas Payton and 2016 Alice Pepper medalist Daniel Maitland started across the ground, but it wasn't to be as Jason Berry and Will Sloss fought hard for the Ogs. We'll move on to Division 2.
Oh, congratulations to
Congratulations.
Old Geelong. Old Mentonians. Disappointing after
very
their fiery summer. We spoke on this show.
Yeah.
All their 100-point wins at the start of the year weren't able to pinch a flag for their first flag in 27 years ago to now.
But good for them. They move up to Premier C. They shy away with the anchor that has anchored them to Division 1.
Yep.
But I think they're going to be really hurting about that loss.
On to Division 2. Let's talk through Division 2.
Yes, Preston Bullants were just far too good for St John's at Casey Fields, who they prevailed by 12 points, and Preston claimed their 3rd premiership in 4 years, which is absolutely outstanding. It's a 100% record for the Bullants since coming into the competition
In September
in 2013, I believe.
Oh, they lost an elimination final, or
Did
its
they?
first semi-final last year, so yeah.
Maybe 100% in grand finals.
I think that was a week before September.
Okay. Well, they were absolutely outstanding, and they had St John's measure from the get-go. St John's were flat, unusually flat, and their potency was taken away by Preston, who was just grind them into the turf at Casey Fields. And St John's made a late charge, 5 goals in the final term, but Preston were able to put on 4 as well. Damon Markham was fantastic with 3 majors. He just gets it done in September. And unfortunately...
Mr. September, can we
Yeah.
give D. Mason,
D.
my old mate, Damon, well done, mate. Congratulations. Mr. September, I think we'll go with that now.
Skipper Glenn Costas and Anthony Brannan and Liam O'Connor were instrumental in St John's surgence in the last quarter, but it was to no avail, and they're going to have to lick their wounds over the summer, but they'll do that in Division 1 in 2017, and congratulations to Preston.
There's about 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go, and Preston have put about 14 men in the back 50, just really solidifying. That's when St John's made their charge, but obviously they couldn't penetrate enough. It flooded so
Preston took out their run and carry, and St John's didn't have the confidence or the will to want to move the footy quickly, which is their go, and Preston were just far too good.
A couple of missed opportunities for St John's in the past 2 years, being one of the better sides in the comp over the past 2 seasons, but yet to go up without a flag. So disappointing result for them.
It was, but they've done it before and they'll do it again. And Division 1, let's hopefully they don't yo-yo back down to Division 2 as they did in 2012.
Right, on to Division 4. Division 3 rather, sorry. On to Division 3. Let's take a look at Glenira and Hawthorn.
Yeah, Glenira capped off a stunning resurgence in 2016 with a 47-point win against Hawthorn out at Coburg. It was a fiery start with players from both sides asserting their authority early on. There were fights breaking out everywhere. Nothing too sinister, but, a bit of rough and tumble to get the crowd going. VB Xana medalist Matthew Harris, the little fella, was dynamic as he continually drove the ball forward for the Saints, while Andrew Barrett started on his way to 5 goals. Dave Pritchard, Sam Golden, David Tremewen, who was in the middle of that, all that hard-bodied stuff, threw their rigs around and fought hard for the Hawks. But the Saints' precise ball movement and control, especially out of the back half, and we were talking about it post-game. I know if you're playing the Hawks, that's probably what you're going to do. It's short kicking and it's keep control of the ball, keep possession. That's what they did, and they did it sensationally well. It's been a great season by both teams. Hawthorn, they only lost 1 game throughout the home and away season. They'll be hurting, but they'll be there or thereabouts in Division 2 next year.
Yeah, disappointing again. Hawthorn, a bit like St John's in the past couple of years, been really good, dominant home and away season form, and then unable to get over the line in the grand final, decided losing the unlosable. So apparently to West Brunswick a couple of years ago in Division 4, and then they've lost this premiership decider in Division 3. So good luck to the Hawks though as they move up to Division 2 next year. In Division 4 it was Westbourne Grammarians who went through the season undefeated after they overcame a gallant Point Cook.
They did. Point Cook led at every single change. Westbourne got
Except
the
the last
ascendancy.
Except the most important one.
Except the very, very last one. They were the best side for the first 3 quarters, and however the Warriors, they went to another level with 4 unanswered goals in the final term as best on-ground medalist Chris Hudson, the big man, the big ruckman, pulled down every mark that came his way. Justin Johns and Charles Hunter kicked 3 each for the Warriors, while Mason Kipp, who always polls well, he's a very good player for Point Cook. He led valiantly for the Bulldogs. Chris Sneddon was electric for the winning side, clashing with Lockie Bell on the wing, on the close wing, and it was one of the best matchups of the day. But the Warriors, as they've done all year, they got it done when it mattered.
Yeah, sensational effort. Congratulations, as I said, to Roger Hand, all at the Grammarians on their win. Right, on to the 4 questions. Hopefully you've stuck around for us. One more round of 4 questions to go. And who's going to open up for us?
I'll look at the new ball tonight. I think it's the first time I've had a new ball. When we wait till the grand final show, I'll zip one at you, Andrew. Who takes Brendan Goss on the weekend?
I think Nick mentioned it before.
He did.
Luke Piccioni sort of covered it off. Has had him a couple of times this year. But the thing about Trinity, I think they've got options. And that's probably what they might need if Gossie does get away from Piccioni a little bit. I think Harry Tinney has proven that he can work on the last line of defence and play that key defensive position. And I think even Fergus Stewart, who's been a real impressive package in the back line for Old Trinity, could be someone that goes to Goss if need be.
Just with Tinney, if they put Tinney to Goss, that might make Goss have to think about someone else because Tinney provides a fantastic running carry out of the back half.
So does Piccioni. He's a great kick. I mean, their kicking skills of Old Trinity are outstanding going out through the back half of the ground.
It's going to be fascinating.
Did the best sides win the grand finals that have taken place so far?
I think 3 out of the 4 were the best sides because I picked the 3 out of the 4 premierships. Unfortunately for my old alma mater, St John's, I think they were the best side for the year, but unfortunately they couldn't get it done when it mattered most, and Preston were far too good on the day.
And Old Mentonians as well? Or they probably Oggs shaded them?
I think Oggs shaded them. I think Old Mentonians' form early in the year was absolutely superior, but I think as the season went on, Oggs just really hit their straps, and I think Oggs were the best side in Division 1.
Andrew, I've got one for you. I want to know your thoughts on the Premier B Grand Final venue after it was announced at Trevor Barker Oval.
Yeah, well, I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago. Play the Premier V Grand Final at Sports Cover. It's the home of the VAFA, and rightly, when the renovations take place, it's going to become the premier venue in the VAFA. So I think you should understand the reasons for moving the William Buck Premier to Icon Park, and the reasons for the Premier B. You wanted at the best facilities and the best ground, so I can understand that, but don't give me this. It's closer to the two the Bayside suburbs as Bees, Mentone and Beaumaris, because it's 5 minutes difference to get to Sports Cover than it is to get to Trevor Barker Oval. So I can't handle that reason, but yeah, I understand it. I don't like it.
Now, Point Cook, Jordan Lampy kicked 7 in the prelim final, didn't he?
He did.
But unfortunately, he was unsighted in the grand final, knowing to attend his sister's wedding.
Yep.
Now, I don't know why you have weddings in September anyway. It's a bugbear of
Rude.
mine. It's very rude, very rude. Now, did he do the right thing?
Absolutely, he did. We are all about family here at the VAFA, and when it comes down to it, you choose your sister's wedding over a grand final any day. Unfortunately, Point Cook nearly got it done without him, but unfortunately they couldn't
Imagine if
quite.
they did have him. Imagine if
I
they
know.
did have him.
Imagine that.
I know.
Final one. Nick, Wednesday night's the Woodrow Medal. Which name do you fear reading out the most of a William Buck Premier?
It used to be Kyriakopoulos. Last year I think I called Polydorus Polydorus, but I've nailed Manasakis. So I'm actually not scared about any of them this year.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
luck. The Woodrow Medal on Wednesday night at the Crown Room, and all the VAFA medalists will be presented with their medals as well. Jason Richardson hosting the evening. Should be a fantastic celebration. Then there's the VAFA Grand Final lunch on Friday at the Sofitel, which I mentioned. Gents, I just want to say thank you very much for your contribution to the show over the course of the year.
Thank you, Captain, for
Thanks,
leading the
Skip.
ship. Yeah, thank you, Skipper. It's been fantastic. Thank you, Nick,
No, thanks, bro.
providing all the information. We don't do a lot of research on this show, but Nick does most of the research for us. But it's absolutely been fantastic.
And I just want to thank you boys for volunteering your time and coming every Monday night.
No,
for us.
look,
It
we've got
means lot.
whether you like us or you don't like us, we thank you for watching, and we thank you also for your contributions and feedback on Facebook, Twitter, and some of the emails we've also received. Hopefully, we're back again sometime next year talking VAFA football. It's a fantastic competition. Congratulations to all the premiership winners so far, including all the under-19s, the thirds, the club 18s, and the reserves premierships that have been won. The seniors is what we talk about, though, and we thank you for them for being our fodder for talking over the course of the year. Good luck in the grand finals on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and we'll see you again next time on The Tragics.